I was wondering why we can't be still in silence. Welcome back to Crusade with me. I'm Dave, and I'm here with my wonderful wife, Kathy. Last episode, we began asking one of humanity's oldest questions. There has to be more than this. But if that's true, why do we spend so much time of our lives avoiding the very silence where we might discover the answer? We've become experts at staying busy. Our calendars are full, our phones never stop buzzing, and even our moments of rest are filled with noise. Maybe the reason all these things happen and we can't sit still isn't because we're lazy or that we are undisciplined. Maybe it's because we're afraid of what we'll hear when everything else gets quiet. Well, hello, my queen. How are you? I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
Don't you wish you could go through life needing me like that?
Not at all. Not at all.
I was just sitting here looking at the Fab Five. And, of course, that last one. Even in that picture, she's an ornery one.
Yeah, she doesn't sit still. And well, that's not true. She does sit still.
But she's ornery.
Well, yes.
She likes to go stiff as a board when
she knows that I'm around.
Even when she hears your voice.
I know. I'm going to slide off the couch now.
But that picture, she's something else. Anyways, that's what I was doing while you were reading the intro.
Yes. Yeah.
Checking out the Fab Five here in the office.
But here's the question that I've been thinking about, and not that I have any answers, right? But why are we always doing something, right? And we are always doing something.
Yeah. At the first of the month, the calendar looks vaguely
kind
empty,
wide open, right?
By the a weekend, it's like there's barely a day that isn't taken up with something.
And I'm not going to call names, and I know people. I don't think I'm one of those people, but I've been kind of thinking about that this week just because of knowing we were going to do this episode. And I know you know people, and you might be one of them. I really don't think you're one of these people, but I do know people that they aren't comfortable with empty space.
Oh, I am that person.
Well, okay. All right. Yeah. I'm like I said, I'm not calling no names, but I guess I am too. I think all of society, I think all of us are a little bit that way from the standpoint of, I can't remember where I was at. Oh, I was at a, anyway, it doesn't matter. It could be any place, right? Standing in line, waiting. No one's standing in line waiting with their hands folded in front of them or behind them. What are they doing? They're on their phones.
Mm-hmm.
Or
at a doctor's office, yeah.
Or yes, right. You can't just sit there and wait.
Mm-hmm. I'm guilty.
And I'm guilty of this. Driving. And I drive a lot, I'm listening to podcasts, right? Mm-hmm. Sadly, and I've seen far too many do this, that eating.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I like to eat.
No. I mean, eating and scrolling. I've seen that.
Yeah.
And we've had this conversation numerous times. I think I've improved significantly. We can't even use the restroom, right?
Right.
Without being on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And let's be clear, that's not because we need more information.
Right. Right.
I just want to, seriously. So here's a question I was thinking about. And I have my answer. But when was the last time that you intentionally sat for 10 minutes with absolutely nothing to entertain you? Now, that's probably not a fair question from my perspective for my answers, because I've been intentionally working on doing this every morning, right, for 10 minutes. And it was not this morning and it wasn't yesterday morning, but it was the morning before that. So, but yeah, we struggle with that. I struggle with that.
Mm-hmm. I think we all do. But to answer your question, I like silence. And we had this conversation this morning because neither one of us ever live in total silence because of a little thing called tinnitus. I call it tinnitus, but
right. I don't know the
professionals call it tinnitus.
Oh, do they?
Yes, that is the technical name, which is ringing in the ears, which is caused by hearing loss. And you have joined my happy band in that you've denied it for years, but I have the hearing test to prove it. Hung on our refrigerator for a long time, but so there is no real silence in our lives or anyone that struggles with that. But yes, I do that. I mean, as much as we are on our phones because of boredom, we are not TV watchers, with the exception of we do watch one show, usually an evening after dinner. But that's it. Our TV's not on during the day.
No.
And usually the weekends, we don't watch anything. It's really quite sad that there's nothing worthwhile but on TV. But usually we watch historical history.
We do like okay, I don't know how much I guess I select a lot of the stuff we watch.
Always.
And it's generally documentary. And
yeah, you got me all excited about somebody recommended Love on the Spectrum, and I'm like,
yes.
Oh yes, I've been wanting to see that, and you have yet to choose that.
Okay, I didn't even look for it. I guess you're
I
right, and I do need to look at that.
Yeah,
we will.
But yes, in the evenings there's times when you're in here working. I will, to prepare my night time ritual, I will sit in silence. And I joked with you this morning that the best silence, because you have a routine.
Yes.
When, and it's very rare, and I don't know when it will happen again in the future, but when.
We can only hope and pray.
And we can only hope and pray.
Right.
When all of the Fab Five are here and our 4 children, or also half of the Fab Five and our other and their parents are here. It's a ruckus. It's a ruckus among us. And we enjoy every minute of it. But
yes.
It's for 2 people who live alone, and we enjoy our quiet time. When it ends and you've said your goodbyes and kids are clinging to you and you kiss them goodbye multiple times, and then they get in the car, and as soon as they leave, they're probably not even out of the driveway, you lock the door and you say every time, listen, isn't that a wonderful sound? And that sound is silence.
Isn't that a song? The sound of silence.
Yes. And that, we enjoy the sound of children being
Yes.
vicarious in the sound of chitter chatter amongst our children.
Well, that's the beauty of grandchildren, right? We can
Yeah.
endure that for several hours, and then
They go.
they can be on their way.
Well, most of the time when they come, they're here for a weekend or several
Right,
days.
right.
But just even hearing our adult children carry on conversations and
True, very true.
in the mix of all the grandchildren talking, it's lovely. Or just when you have, a big group of people together, it's chaotic and it's crazy and it's fun and there's laughter. But when it ends, there is that initial.
Yeah, silence is really a good thing, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But let me ask then, do you think that we've forgotten how to simply be present?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I do too. I struggle mightily with that. And it takes well, look, we're all creatures of habit, right?
Right.
So when we do the things that I was talking about earlier about, okay, we can't stand in line, we can't sit in a waiting room, the phone comes out comes the phone, right? That starts forming habits within us.
Yes.
So now we just reach for the phone.
Mm-hmm. Because being present takes intention.
Exactly right. That's kind of the point that I was thinking about.
Right. And I know that I have done this because I've seen other people do it. When we do have family gatherings, what have I started instituting?
No phones.
No phones.
Right.
Everybody put them away, because there have been events where I look around when I'm in the kitchen and I see everybody
Yes.
sitting on the couch on their phones. And I'm like, this is just like a once a year, twice a year event. And this is what we're doing. Right. We're sitting on the couch on our phones. No, we're not doing that. Everybody hand me your phone.
The phone police, the phone Nazi.
You can have them back. And then I hear, well, I saw Dad on his phone, so I figured I'll be on my phone. And then you say, well, I saw them on their phone, so I figured I'd put my own phone. So, it doesn't matter who started it. It's everybody's on their phone. Let's put them away. So, but so it takes an intention to decide we're going to be present with each other and that we're going to hold space for each other. And we're going to decide that people are more important
Correct.
than technology or anything else.
Again, I think it's habit. I truly believe that it's habit.
It is. And it's without thought sometimes.
Yes.
Just like, you said, sitting in the doctor's office, it's my first thing that I think, okay, I haven't played Wordle today. Let me play Wordle while I'm sitting here waiting. Or, let me check Instagram. Maybe something happened that's bad and it'll be all over. Because obviously we don't watch the news. So it's like, that's how I get my information. Right. Or
which is dangerous as all get out.
Yes.
So here's something else. Because, when I start thinking about these things, it makes me think of another question, right? So, do you think we always have to be doing something because something within silence makes us uncomfortable?
A lot of things. A lot of things, right?
I've been thinking about it. I don't. And I'm thinking in my head, right? So because I know, because I'm wearing my underwear, that it's me thinking of this. But so maybe our inability to sit still isn't because we have too much energy, right?
Right.
Maybe we're trying to outrun something or avoid it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that there are probably.
So what are we avoiding?
Yeah, I think possibly traumas We're avoiding self-doubt, shame, memories that we don't want to remember, or self-conviction, or all the things. Social situations that we replay in our head when we have social anxiety, like, why did I say that?
Right.
Why didn't I?
Right.
When you're a shy person,
Yes, I struggle with that.
yeah.
I'm more shy than you let on.
There's a thing called, the need to perform for people.
That's valid.
And so then you replay a situation that maybe that you were in that you think, why did I do that? Why? Especially because, you're in, there's silence in social situations, and people don't want that awkward silence to just sit with it sometimes. So then you say things to not let that moment go. And you're like, so you got to fill it. And then sometimes you replay those moments back. And you're like, why did I make a fool of myself? Or is any of that making sense to you?
No, it does. I just think, I was like, okay.
All of that creates anxiety, I think, when you're sitting in silence, you
I think that we're afraid of the questions that might pop in our head.
Yes.
I mean, because the things I've been thinking about, like, okay, am I happy? And I hate that word, happy. Am I happy? Am I becoming who I want to become?
Right.
And you've drilled it down to those basic pillars, right? Of shame or guilt or
a trauma.
Yes. I guess I was thinking more generally. And I'm just wondering, is this quote unquote, and I'm not a psychobabblist, but, is it the avoidance? And I strongly believe that it probably is. And, because that's kind of heavy stuff. Because what's easier? Netflix.
Yeah.
Scrolling. That's easier. Maybe I'll start a project. Maybe we'll do a garden.
Well, I think anything that we have to think about that might involve self-improvement.
Yeah, or, okay, how about being honest?
Well, that would be self-improvement.
Well, I mean, we can call it self-improvement. Self-improvement is being honest, but I'm just talking about strip everything away.
Talking about the will of God.
No, I just want to talk about us being honest with ourselves. I don't want to think about truly, where am I at? Or truly, what have I done? Or what am I doing? I would rather be distracted by the pandas in the zoo in China that I follow now. They are cute, though.
They are.
They have so many human-like attributes. Like the one sitting in the tree and his one leg's just dangling and just, And I've seen every one of these Fab Five sit in a high chair and that one leg just dangling and swinging.
Yeah.
That's what it makes me think of. But, yeah, our honesty can be a son of a gun. And it's not that we're not being honest with ourselves because we don't know what the honest truth is. Maybe that's what we're avoiding.
Yeah.
So here's a good test. Because I know my answer, and it's the affirmative. Have you ever caught yourself without even thinking about it, reaching for your phone?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think I said
it
that.
just,
Yeah.
that's kind of shameful in my mind. I mean, as a person today, I feel like, gosh, why?
Mm.
Why?
Well, in a lot of ways, we've become so dependent on the phone, like like it starts getting cloudy outside because we're in a drought. So as soon as it starts getting cloudy, I grab my phone because I want to look at the weather map and see, is it going to rain?
That's valid.
So I mean, I
And
can tell myself it's for a very good purpose and a very good reason, but things that we were dependent on before, like a radio or the TV, which we won't dive into that, but
right,
I
right.
think we've discussed that before. Now it's my phone. It's all inclusive. It's my calendar. It's my
Well, it's instantaneous. You
it's
get
portable.
what you want when
Yeah,
you want it.
right.
Not like, hey, we have to sit down Thursday at 7:00 to watch the Cosby Show or whatever. You
Right,
know what I'm
right,
saying? I mean, remember
yeah.
that was
Yeah.
Thursdays was the power night,
I'm
whatever
yep.
that was.
Yes, yes, that was the spot, right? So yeah, it's it's a struggle,
Yeah.
but it's sometimes it's intentional and sometimes it's mindless.
And I'm pretty confident it's not a struggle that you and I are facing only.
Right.
I think you and I are talking about it,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is probably a good thing.
Right.
What do you think people actually are trying to avoid, though? I mean, I guess we kind of talked about that, what they're really trying to avoid. Are they just trying to avoid? Okay, here's my thought. Are they trying to avoid the silence because we've been trained to believe that silence is uncomfortable or shouldn't exist? Or I don't know what. I really don't. But I kind of get that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you're in a conversation and there's silence, that's actually I don't want to call it a tactic, but it's a measure we use during investigations when we let silence linger. We'll ask a question and let that silence linger because people don't like silence and that will make them speak.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right.
just my experience, and I don't even know if that even relates to what we're talking about at all, but it's just that for some reason there's something within us that, and I don't know if it's training, that we don't like silence.
Right. Right.
Or I wonder, are we afraid of our own thoughts?
I believe that we are afraid of the unknown. Partially, we're afraid of the unknown of what might come to the forefront of our mind as a worrier.
Yes. And you inherited that. That was in your DNA.
Right. What might possibly pop into my mind that I need to worry about today?
Well, I always try to help you with that, right? I do.
Yeah.
You say, I'm worried about this, and then I give you an answer. But here's something else you can worry about. Because I know you got to worry about something.
Yes. So I think that's one of the unknowns that we could possibly.
So we're afraid of the unknown.
Right.
That's interesting. And I think you're right. That there's so many levels to just that one statement that we are afraid of the unknown. Because, and I don't think this is a phenomena of the West only. We have to be in control.
Yes.
So that's one part of that, right? Mm-hmm. But now going back to just the silence, is that also okay? I need to open my mind and let my brain wander, and then I don't feel like I'm in control by doing that. I don't know. That just popped into my head.
Right.
Makes no sense.
Yeah. And And I think that regardless, there's times that things just pop into my head without any sense of control whatsoever.
Oh, I agree with that too. Yes.
Whether there's something that just happened during the day that maybe that's what peaks, in my head later. It always seems to be nighttime that those things kind
Is
of
it?
and
Okay,
for
yeah.
me,
Yeah. Right.
when you are quiet and
So maybe the problem isn't the noise around us. Seriously, that may not truly be the problem.
well, I think
It may be the noise within us.
yeah. I think it's when people go looking for the noise around us to distract them from the noise within.
Yes. Yes.
So we have to be brave.
So, I love history.
Mm-hmm.
And ancient wisdom has been saying what we've been talking about all along, right? I mean, I could talk about, they knew something that I think that we as a humanity has forgotten. That according to the Tai Chi Ching, the Tao speaks about stillness. The Psalms repeatedly speak about stillness. Jesus, it is recorded, repeatedly withdrew to a lonely place. So stillness isn't laziness. As I think about it in the context of ancient writings, I think stillness should be about preparation. Does that make sense? Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So why do you think that Jesus would slip away from the crowds?
Kind of like when the Fab Five leaves.
Ding, 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 ding. You're the winner. Hold on.
I mean, he obviously didn't have a door to lock, and
Right. Yeah, that's valid.
but he needed silence.
Yeah.
I mean, he had to go across the sea to get it, but
Or up a mountain,
Or up a mountain, yeah.
late at night into a garden.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you're right.
he had
You're right.
the great escapes.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
The Great Escapes. That's an awesome analogy. So when you spend an hour on the toilet with your phone scrolling, what are you escaping? It's the Great Escape.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just, I mean, I see those as I've scrolled. I've seen those memes, or I don't know what I don't know if that's truly a meme, but those postings about husbands in the bathroom on their phone, right?
Right. I've sent you plenty.
Yes, but I've seen, So this is what makes me start wondering or thinking, as we were talking about the ancient wisdom, that stillness and silence was kind of a thing in life that I think in our 21st century minds and how informed we are and how smart we are.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when I was talking about self-honesty?
Mm-hmm.
We haven't forgotten it. We don't see the necessity of it.
Correct. And I know we're, this is part of a series, and we're not to the point of, talking about alternatives and answers
Right.
and things like that.
We're just thinking about things.
Right. But I can't, and you can cut this out, but
No.
I can't not offer Christ's solution to,
Yeah.
but obviously we have prayer as an answer to the silent, or in the silence.
Okay. That's awesome. That's awesome.
I can't not say that.
No, I think you're right. But that kind of made me think about another question that I had kind of related to that. And that is, do you think God speaks louder in silence, or do we simply hear better?
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
I think we hear better.
Right. So when we pray, we're attuned, so to speak. And I've read some neuroscience applied to that. I think did I share that with you? That was absolutely remarkable.
Yeah. Just like, we've had recent conversations with our oldest about that, where you feel like God is not near you during trials and tribulations, and God is saying, I've been here all along.
Remember the old
don't
painting or drawing of the footprints in the sand? Remember that? Remember that? That was back in the 70s and 80s. That was a real hit.
Right. But I truly believe that it's not, we never doubt God.
No.
I mean, we do, but we shouldn't.
Correct.
It's just when we're in our trials, sometimes we don't feel his presence, but he is always there. And when we lean into our faith,
right,
that's when we see him, when we truly feel his presence. But sometimes we go off half-cocked, as you sometimes like to say. My grandfather used to say that a lot. My dad used to say that a lot.
Well, people who have
demonstrated that a lot.
Yes. Well, if you shot a single-action Army revolver pistol, you'll know what half-cocked is, and it ain't going to work, right? You think, oh, I got it. No, you didn't. You're half-cocked.
And when you finally return, you finally see, and we've witnessed this a lot. When you see God's hand in your life, you sometimes don't see it when it's happening. It's when you get through.
Mm-hmm. It's after the
and
fact.
you can turn around and look, and you see him here, and you see him there, and you see him there, and you see him there, and you see him there. So I think the same is true for this. That we hear him when we are still. Be still and know.
Mm-hmm. What can nature teach us about being still?
Well, the scripture tells us that, that we should not be anxious about anything. Look at the birds in the air, and he will take care of them. Certainly he's going to take care of us.
I was actually just sitting there thinking about that and thinking about, I think our quote-unquote comeback episode, should we need to be like a tree, right? Trees don't move around a lot.
No, unless they're really tall pine trees, because we used to watch those things almost bend in the wind.
Well, they didn't almost, but they bent.
Yeah, they bent.
They bent.
The tops, but not the foundation, which is another good analogy.
Correct. But just thinking about nature in itself, does nature have silence? It does.
At night, usually.
Yeah, yeah. There's a rhythm. There's
the
a
darkness.
cadence. There's a sunrise and an awakening and a getting up morning or whatever you want to say.
Getting up morning. Is that called a rooster?
Well, no. I thought that used to be either a coffee commercial or a commercial for a
Folgers?
breakfast sausage or something.
Jimmy Dean?
Something about a getting up morning, yeah.
I don't know.
You don't remember that? Okay. I might be making that up in my head. I don't know.
Nah. You would never make stuff up and try to convince me it's true. Like spaghetti grows on trees. Anyways.
That was a commercial, and I just affirmed it because you were totally confused. Right.
It was a commercial. It must be true.
Well, so you were losing your hearing way back then. Because they said, everybody knows spaghetti doesn't grow on trees.
No, it was everybody knows spaghetti grows on trees. And I'm like,
Okay, maybe that was my hard of
And I
hearing. I
said,
thought they said everybody knows
"Really?"
it doesn't.
I was also 18 at the time, young and dumb, but married.
Soon to be a mother.
No, I had another 2 years to go.
Oh, that's right. You were 20 when. This is something else I want to talk about that I've been thinking about briefly. We had this conversation this morning. And I talk about this a lot at work. So this applies to every aspect of our lives. And, I had a long day yesterday, right? I got up early and I was at one of our plants at 3:00 in the morning to do this manufacturing onboarding, trying to help our retention. So we have a HR who wasn't present. I say that in jest. I think the world of the VP of HR, but this was her idea. We need to have, you're a director, be involved in this onboarding, and that might help. Well, I've been doing this for about 6 months. It doesn't appear to have helped at all, but I'm also not very smart, and I'll keep doing something until I'm told either not to, or I'll figure out a better way. But a couple of the people in this onboarding, so they've been at the company for somewhere between 1.5 to 4 weeks. A couple of them were like 6 weeks, because I try to do these once a month. And when we talk about lean training and continuous improvement and Toyota production systems, or whatever you want to call it, we talk about the 7 deadly wastes, and we talk about value add and non-value add. And when we talk about value add and non-value add, we're talking about what our customer is willing to pay us for. So, I talk about our customers are willing to pay us to roll form a coil, because otherwise they would just go buy a coil. But they can't roll form it, so they pay us to roll form it. So we're changing the material from a coil to either a column or a beam or what have you. We're changing the physical material. And a couple of these new hires in this orientation were mobile equipment operators. And one of the 7 deadly wastes is conveyance. So that goes directly to value add. The customer is willing to pay us to roll form a coil. They're not willing to pay us to pick up the bundle of whatever we roll formed, whether it's beams or column, and move it to the welding jigs. They're willing to pay us to weld those components together, but they're not willing to pay us to move the product from there to the powder coat paint line. They're willing to pay us to powder coat paint the material the color they've selected So all that conveyance is considered a waste. Doesn't mean, and it's non-value add. Doesn't mean that it's not necessary.
Right.
All right. That does not. That's not what that implies. It just means it's not a value add. And our lives are a little bit like that. So I was having this conversation, and part of my onboarding is talking about exactly this, the value add, non-value add concepts, 7 deadly waste, TOC, which is a theory of constraints or bottlenecks. Those are the type of things I'm talking about. I explained takt time and how to figure cycle time and takt time, and the targets that we say you need to meet. These are not something I pull out of my butt. We physically do the math on the whiteboard together, and I tell them this is one of the rare occasions I will ask them. We're in a training room, right? So I will ask them, pull out your cell phones. And this is probably the last time you're ever going to hear me say that to you, okay?
Right, because they're not allowed on the floor.
Yeah, right. So, a couple of the mobile equipment operator new hires quickly understood what I was saying. And I asked for clarification that they're kind of getting the, and it's really, I'm talking about this, the difference between busyness and being productive or purposeful.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, oh, so you mean driving around with nothing on my forks? Ding, 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 ding. He got it. Mm-hmm. Bingo. But I do that. There's a couple things that are popping in my head right now. Why do we glorify, for lack of a better term, why do we glorify busyness?
Because it makes us feel valuable.
Does busyness make you feel valuable? Because I was thinking about how many of us have had this. I've had this, and sadly, it seemed like they were piling up and having several in a row, where you've had a busy day, and those days, and I come home absolutely exhausted. Mm-hmm. And I can sit in that chair, I sit in my chair in there, and I think, what did I accomplish today? Absolutely nothing.
I call that piddling. Well, I'm a professional piddler.
You got that from your grandfather? You got that, and it came from your grandfather to your father to you.
Yeah. I piddle here for a little bit, I piddle there for a little bit, and I don't seem to get anything accomplished. Like my mind will not lock in and get one thing done, because I've piddled here and then I piddle in here. I start one project and leads to another project. One project ever ties up and gets done.
Now, I will say this. There's a difference, in my mind, there's a difference between piddling, busy work. Mm-hmm. I'll call that busy work. You are accomplishing little tasks, little things. Right. So I personally think that's different. I'm talking about being busy. And this is an analogy, my God rest his soul, my grandfather, Milton. Mm-hmm. He used to call all the girls sisters, mm-hmm. and the guys at work called him Stosh, and he was just a hillbilly from Tennessee. But anyway.
That reminds me of True Grit, when he called everybody sister.
Yeah. He was a devout, avid Cubs fan. Mm-hmm. And let's face it, it's not, and I'm a Cubs fan, and I'm not even a professional baseball fan that much, but because of where I was born and where I was raised, and my grandfather, the last 10 years of his life, or almost 16 years of his life, he laid in a hospital bed in the living room in his house because he had colon cancer in mid-70s. They went to removes the colon cancer, and they severed his spinal cord in the process. So he was paralyzed from the chest down. And my grandmother took impeccable care of him.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that man laid there. He was no small guy, and he never got a bed sore.
That is amazing.
And but he was a devout Cubs fan, and we would go there, and he was, of course, a little bit older and hard of hearing, and he'd worked in the mills all of his life. He was a maintenance technician. I think they called them millwrights at that time still. And watching the Cubs sometimes, if you're a baseball fan, it's hard to watch the Cubs sometimes. Back in this day, specifically, and they'd play 9 innings
mm-hmm.
and work and not score a run. And just things would not go their way at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Granddad would say, when you're snake bit, you're just snake bit. Now, sometimes in our lives, we're just snake bit. So now I'm wondering, isn't probably that the best opportune time to withdraw into some silence?
Probably so.
I don't claim to have any answers. I just got a ton of questions.
I think that being busy is not always fruitful, or it's not the same as being fruitful, and maybe it's just for that reason alone.
Well, but I think we're talking about the same thing here, right? So,
yeah.
So we can become full of motion,
and not
but
be
empty
productive.
Empty of purpose.
Mm-hmm. So that's the time to retrieve and
retreat. Yes,
retreat. Retreat. You're correct.
So I think we've established, in my mind, there's absolutely a difference between being busy and being productive. But why do we have it in our minds that we always have to be productive? I guess that's the other thing that pops in my head. And I think you and I talked about that this morning a little bit.
Yeah.
We was it our upbringing? I'm a list and a planner. I use my planner and my lists, and I do that daily. Right. I mean, okay, 6 days a week I do that.
I have this guilt of not being busy. Like I feel this need to be busy, and this is not on you, but I always have this need to tell you what I've done in a day.
Mm-hmm. I've noticed
and not that you have made me feel like I have to answer for what I've done when you come home, but I do tell you what I've done.
Yes.
Like I'm accountable for my day. And I think that, and my girlfriend and I were talking about this just recently, that she feels the same way. Like she has to, go down the list of this, and this, as if sitting or reading a book or whatever would be laziness.
Did you want me to open that?
No, I was just twisting it.
Okay.
Anyways. So, yeah, I think that's just another
I think that's
that
great.
we've done to ourselves. But let me piggyback that to an idea about in childhood, remember, and then we turned around to this to our kids too, the I'm bored syndrome.
Yeah, I learned early on not to say that.
Yeah, well, and what was the answer to I'm bored? You were given
a 3-pound coffee can of bent 16-penny nails to begin straightening the nails.
Right. You were giving a task or
Correct.
a chore. And maybe, and I'm not opposed to that. And I'm not saying that that was wrong. But maybe we stripped children of the gift of wonderment to sit in silence.
And that'll be our next episode. We want to talk about the death of wonder. But that's a great point.
But
or are we training them to say, you can't be bored. You can't not be busy.
correct.
Right?
And I think that maybe that's where my
Your dad gave you tasks?
yeah, like, washing rocks.
I know. That's why.
That was a family affair.
Was that Memorial Day or Labor Day or what was
Well,
that?
we worked every holiday. Every holiday. We, Thanksgiving, we rake leaves. Memorial Day, we worked. Labor Day, we worked. It was always but yes, on the side of the driveway was lined with river rocks. And then in the front of the big window, he literally would pull them all out, lay them out on the driveway. We did that. And then he would hose them off
With a garden hose.
with a garden hose, and then we had to put them back. Do you think he was OCD? Undiagnosed, but I'm dying. My unprofessional. I'm gonna die. Yes, these were the things we joke about it every year, but
Yes.
yes. So I do feel like I have to. I think that's where that possibly could have come from. I don't know, but I do feel like I have to. Why do you think that I leave the laundry out until you get home? Okay, now yesterday it was still going when you got home, but I
That is
always
hilarious.
leave that out so that you know that I've done laundry. I can have that put away at like noon, but no, I leave that out so you know that I did it. It's all folded.
You're wackadoodle. I love you, but you're a wackadoodle.
Mm-hmm.
You act like I'm some sort of a
I
tyrant
know
or something.
I've made it very clear.
I know
you
you
do
do.
not put those parameters on me. I just want you to know I was not a slug sitting doing nothing.
Oh, ESV, I think, calls it slothfulness. Right? Don't be a sloth. Is it the ESV or is that actually, no, it might be the New American Standard Version. I think they call that slothfulness.
This has been very insightful to you, is it?
It has. I'm
learning.
See, when I sit over here in silence, I learn a thing or two. Okay, look, we've been at this for almost an hour, but I don't want to make these longer than an hour. So I'm thinking about a small challenge to the listeners and everybody that comes across this episode. What if this week we all tried something that may feel impossible to some people for 10 minutes? No phone, no TV, no podcast, no Bible study, and I rarely say that, but no journal.
And don't fall asleep.
Yes. Just sit. And here's the tricky part that I'm learning because I've been trying to do this exercise a little bit. Just sit and don't fix anything. Don't pray through your checklist. Sit in silence to become aware. That way, you might see where our intentions run. And if we see where our intentions run, that might tell us something about our hearts.
Mm-hmm.
What you thinking, my love?
I'm thinking I have to close my eyes because if I don't, I start rearranging the house.
That's valid.
So just a suggestion, if you suffer from direction,
Whatever you call that.
yeah, because like when you say moving your hands or fixing things, I can't because my eyes wander and then that directs my thoughts.
I think that's great. That's a great bit of
Suggestion.
advice.
Yeah.
To close your eyes in silence. That's that. And
But
I
then
had
the
not
other
mentioned
danger,
that.
and that's why I said don't fall asleep because
Correct.
that's a danger too.
So we spend so much of our energy, you use the word, trying to escape uncomfortable moments. And maybe those uncomfortable moments really aren't our enemy. Maybe we need to look at those moments as invitations. So what if silence isn't empty? What if silence is where truth finally catches up with us? What if God has been waiting there all along?
Mm-hmm.
Not with condemnation, not with shame, as you brought up, but with invitation. So here's what I'm thinking about. So if we finally become still, if we finally stop running, what will we actually notice? Have we become so distracted that we've lost our capacity to be amazed? So next time, we'll explore what may be one of the greatest losses in the modern world: the death of wonder. Thank you for spending this time with us. If today's conversation resonated with you, we'd love to hear from you to share with your friends or family members who might need to hear it. This week, don't rush to fill every moment. Try giving 10 minutes of uninterrupted stillness and simply notice where your attention goes. You may discover that silence isn't something to fear. It might just be the beginning of something beautiful. So until next time, keep seeking what is true, keep your eyes open for the good, and remember, the journey toward a meaningful life begins with paying attention. And as always, please continue to crusade with me.